Okay, is there anybody there with the gun, or is it just him being hurt?
They had a gun in my head my whole way over here.
3 males come, gun in my face, Glock to my face.
They robbed somebody, shot somebody, and killed him.
They told me to get in the car, call somebody in town to give them $1,000 while they.
Stay with me, brother.
Hey guys, do you have an exit wound at all?
Tuesday, February 11th, 2021, Albuquerque, New Mexico. What seemed like a casual meeting ended in a kidnapping, an attempted rescue, and a murder through which authorities would uncover a network of juvenile crimes connected by the same app. For months, that chain of fleeting messages and reckless decisions would guide an investigation that revealed 2 homicides, a recurring pattern, and a lingering question: to what extent can a screen turn a connection into a tragedy? I'm Tyler, and this is your daily dose of crime. We see you watching, but only about 11% of you are subscribed to the channel. So, if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell so that we can reach more people and you can keep getting your daily dose of crime. As always, thanks for being here.
Let's go back to you initially start talking to her.
Yeah, so I started talking to her for like maybe 15, 20 minutes. And she was like bringing up like little things, like she was like, oh, you're a millionaire, oh, like oh, that's where you put your money in, like just trying to figure stuff, like asking me a bunch of questions. And like I don't really open up, so I'm not really telling her nothing, but I told her some stuff I do. And as soon as I told her all that, like I'd say about 3 minutes after, 3 males come, gun in my face, 247 to my face, a Glock to my face, and then the other guy pulls her out like if she's a victim of her getting robbed too. But while I'm getting thrown on the ground and they pull me out of the car, I'm listening, and he's all put her in the car, and she just texted me and she said she ran away, but how was she running away if she was in the car behind me while they were bumping while he was driving? Because there was 3 at first, and I kind of looked and there was only 3 males. And then I kind of looked back and I saw a 4, but she was in the passenger seat of the other car.
What kind of car was the other car?
All I know is it was silver, and I didn't really get a lot of look because he was pointing a gun right in my face like the whole time. There was 2 guns right in the back of my head and one to the face on my side, so he told me not to look at him or he'd shoot me, so I wasn't really worried too much about the car. I was worrying about him killing me, most definitely.
Let me ask you this. So there's 3 males, right? What is the first male that you can think of? Did he sound young?
Yeah, they were all young. They were definitely like early 19, 20, 21 with the first occupant was a white male. The guy in the back with the AK-47 assault rifle to my head was definitely a black dude. Just by the tone and how his hands were, I could tell.
So.
And the other dude I couldn't tell because he was in the car. And he was the craziest one.
He was the craziest one?
Yeah, he was gonna shoot me, like he shot off the ground and then.
Hours after the homicide, detectives from the Albuquerque Police Department's Homicide Division interview Elias Otero's brother, considered the key witness in the case. His statement becomes the first piece of an investigation that, according to official records, began in the early hours of February 11th, 2021, when Otero was shot and killed in front of his home in southwest Albuquerque. Police seek to establish the exact timeline of events, identify the individuals present during the earlier meeting, and determine how what was initially described as a casual encounter turned into a fatal shooting. According to the information gathered up to that point, the victim had left his home after receiving a call from his brother, who was in another part of the city and reported being under threat. Detectives now aim to determine where that contact began, who was present, and what relationships existed amongst those involved. This interview would mark the starting point for connecting Otero's murder to other crimes committed during that same period and help investigators to reconstruct the network of contacts operating behind the scenes.
Where did you shoot at the ground?
At the grass field. It was like a grass field. All I could see, I was looking down and shot. And the only thing I could think about was me getting shot, so I didn't.
And what kind of gun did this guy have? Was it a handgun?
It was an assault rifle, too big. They were definitely packing me.
So the young black male, you said he had an AK?
It was like a Drake. It's called a Draco. It's like a mini AK.
Was it a micro Draco?
Yeah, it was a little Draco, like you could put it in your pants.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little one. But it had a big clip. It was like 80, so it could be out. They were wrapped up, they were mashed up. I could only see their eyes, but I couldn't tell you. I remember what they looked like, but
were they like COVID masked up, or were they?
They were
like robbery masked up?
Yeah, like robbery, like make sure they don't see their face. Gloves on. They were prepared for it. It was definitely set it up.
So let me ask you this and understand this. You're not in any trouble. I am not the drug police, anything like that. But was there any transaction of narcotics, anything like that, between you and her? Like, did you smoke any with her? Did you tell her that you could get her anything like that?
So I did smoke before that.
Okay,
and I'm not gonna lie, I did. But I smoked before I met up with her, and I smoked with another female.
And I was just asking because you said she said this is where you keep your cash.
Yeah,
what did she mean by that?
So I keep my cash in the middle, which means if I have any money in there, which I didn't have a lot of money in there. And she everything that they were saying where it was at, she knew. So and before all this started, I noticed her phone was on a call, but she was kind of hiding it, but kind of it was weird.
So she was actually calling somebody?
She was on the phone with somebody.
Hey, is there anybody there with the gun, or is it just him being hurt?
They had a gun in my head my whole way over here.
Alright.
He's dying right now, man. There's a gun on the floor, a shotgun.
Okay, cool.
But they're all legal.
Okay.
They're legal to carry a firearm. I'm underage.
Okay. Is he not breathing at all?
Fair enough,
Let's go. You guys
drop top.
You guys got PPE?
I got this is the one that set me up.
Okay. We got the car up there, man. We got the car up there. Okay.
I'm sorry, I just had a gun in my hand.
I know, man. Take a deep breath. Do me a favor. Let's secure this. Let's try and ID him. I'm gonna let rescue know it's good to go over here. Okay, watch that firearm. Where's the shot at, guys?
Come on! Stay with me!
Where's the shot?
He's right here.
You guys got chest.
Come on!
I got one right
Stay
here.
with me, Elias! Come on, open your mouth!
Elias, stay awake.
Stay awake.
Please, Elias,
Guys, I need the medics to make sure that they're safe, right? That's why this is going down this way.
Stay awake.
Elias,
Come on!
Elias.
During the interview, the brother describes the moment he was intercepted by the attackers and the weapons they carried. According to his testimony, at least 2 of them were armed with semi-automatic pistols, which they used immediately and without warning. His account matches the ballistic evidence recovered at the scene, where multiple 9mm shell casings consistent with the type of weapons used were found. Investigators note the aggressiveness of the attack. The shots were fired at close range and in rapid succession, suggesting a coordinated and premeditated action. This information allowed forensic analysts to determine the shooter's positions and confirmed that the victim was struck while attempting to respond to the threat, placing the act within the parameters of intentional homicide with a firearm. From this point forward, the investigation focused on tracing the weapon's origin and exploring potential links between the suspects and other violent robberies reported in the same area weeks earlier.
A couple months ago, our daughter, Anna's my niece.
Okay.
Hangs out with my daughter. My other daughter doesn't really like her, so they don't hang out. The other day they were hanging out together for who knows what, and Anna was gloating, I guess, about that they robbed somebody, shot somebody, and killed him. I told my daughter, she's probably lying. She's a liar. She likes to lie. She's cool, whatever. So the next time they meet up, my daughter's like, "You're a liar. You need to stop lying."
Right.
She goes, "Really?" Pulls out the paper you guys some you guys gave her. Stating what happened. She's like, "Look," and starts laughing about it. So my daughter says, "Oh, okay." And then she just threw it on the table. My daughter took it. I know it's she took it. She brought it to us. So we read it the other day. And I'm like, "This is wrong." The next day, we're watching the morning news, and the mom comes on the TV. The guy's mom. My wife said, "We have to do something about this." I said, I agree. So I called 242 cops. Took them an hour to get a hold of me. They said that they can't do nothing to call another number.
Okay.
I left a message. Nobody's called me back.
Okay.
Last night, my daughter has an issue with her boyfriend. I pulled the officer to the side and I told him.
Good.
So what we know is this. This isn't the first time she does this.
Right.
She gets online, Twitter, what is the other one?
Snapchat
and Grindr, whatever. She gets on there, finds boys, dealers. That's why it's okay with her to do it. And then she meets them at a park, or they pick her up at her house. She meets them. They go to a park. She records what she's asking questions, to see what they have. She records it. The other people are listening. Once they know what they want, they come and rob the kid, take his stuff. I guess this time, the kid gloated about drugs, money, guns. So he told him he has money at his brother's house. So they put him in the car, they take him to the brother's house. At this point, the brother knows what's going on. He walks out with a gun. The one kid shoots him and kills him. They jump back in the car, they stick the kid back in the car. I call him a kid because I don't know how old he is.
Right.
They drive down, the kid jumps out. She says that she's following him in the back of the car, behind them. This whole time she's laughing about this.
Right.
The kid jumps out, rolls on the ground, whatever. Doesn't even know his brother's dead.
Right.
They pick him up, whatever. He says what happened, names Anna by name. Okay, so now Anna thinks it's funny. She left. She went to Austin.
Okay.
For 2 weeks. And then that boy, one of the boys, brought her back. So she's in town now, currently living with another friend of hers. I have the address where she's at now. To me, it's wrong because it would have been one of my kids.
Oh yeah.
I'd want something to do about it because it's not right what they did, and they've done. It's not the first time. This isn't her first time doing this.
Right.
She also says, "I'm a teenager and I can do anything. If I get arrested, I get 2 years in juvie and I'm done. I don't care."
In the interview, the witness provides a crucial lead, claiming to know the exact address of one of the individuals involved in the attack. He adds that the woman regularly frequents the location, often arriving late at night and sometimes accompanied by 2 young men. He also mentions that after the incident, the suspect was absent for about 2 weeks in Austin, Texas, before returning to Albuquerque and resuming her routine at the same residence. Investigators immediately verified the information, cross-checking it with prior reports and complaints related to the same area. The address matches one previously mentioned in earlier police documents, allowing the homicide unit to request a location order to confirm the suspect's presence. The development marks a decisive point in the investigation. For the first time in 8 months since the crime, detectives have a concrete lead, bringing them closer to the alleged perpetrators.
Stay with me, brother.
Guys, do we have an exit wound at all?
I don't know. He's leaking bad here.
Okay, do you guys have a pulse anywhere?
I don't know.
Come on, brother.
You have injuries in that car?
Come on, brother. Come on, don't do this.
Hey, brother. Hey, listen to me. Hey, where did it happen, bro? Hey, where did it happen, brother?
I was going to work on Saturday. And they just roll up on me and they got me.
Where did the shooting happen? Was it here?
They told me to bring out him $1,000 and they told me to bring out a gun.
Okay.
And they I told them to do it what they told me to do and I told them.
Okay, let me know if you get any 31 calls in the area.
He puts the gun in my head and he's like, open the trunk. So I get up and I'm explaining to him every move I made, my hand movement. I got in the car and I was like, I'm touching the button, I'm pulling it up. And I told them where the trunk pop was and they popped it. They searched through my whole trunk. They searched through the whole car, under the seat, back of the seat. They went through my car. I was there for a good minute outside. And then after that, they told me to get in the car, call somebody and tell them to give them $1,000 or they'd kill me. And me thinking, well, who am I going to go to for $1,000? And what they wanted, and so I told them to go to my brother's house, and that's why I felt most protected, and they have guns under their names. So that's why I felt most to take them. So he's driving all the way on the freeway, gets on the freeway, and there's a gun to my head the whole time. And I'm trying to look around, I'm trying to get clues, I'm trying to look around, but I look, and he's like, they're staring at me the whole time, and he said if I said that, he'd shoot me in the leg. And he puts the Draco to my leg, and he says if I look at him one more time, or I move or anything, he's gonna shoot me. So after that, I'm going on the freeway forever. We're in the east side, so I'm coming all the way up here, and he goes around this thing, he goes around it, and the guy's behind him the whole time. He's like bumping the car, like he's like bumping it, like hitting it with this.
And there's only one other car, right?
Yeah, there's only one other car
okay.
with 2 occupants in it, and then another 2 with me.
Okay.
And the back seat's very small, so he's back there cuddled up with a gun and he's just going crazy, just yelling at me. They're just yelling at me the whole time. They better be there, I'm gonna kill you. He's like, I don't got nothing to live for. He's like, I will really kill you. He's like, they better come out or you're dead. I'm shooting you, and he's just threatening me the whole time, just with death. And I'm thinking I'm gonna die, you know what I mean? What do I do? So I get here, I get to the house, and they pull up and they tell me to get my phone, which I didn't know my phone was, but it was under the seat, so I found it. I FaceTime my brother Jacob, and they tell me not to tell him anything, and I was just like, bring $1,000 out. And this is where I started. I was like, please bring the $1,000 out, please don't do nothing. They have 2 guns to my head. But I couldn't tell him that there was an occupant in the back. I couldn't be specific because he told me not to.
Okay.
So I said they have 2 guns to my head, and my brother's like, okay. So we're waiting, and he's all, call him again. So I'm calling my brother, but then my brother opens up the door, and my older brother that came out, and he comes out the house, and they're both with their guns out, and I'm crying, and I'm telling him, brother, don't do it. And the guy's pointing the gun at me, and he's screaming at me. He's like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna shoot him. And I'm like, oh God, here I go. And I'm telling my brothers, I'm crying. I'm like, please don't do what you're about to do, because I know they're gonna shoot. So he's telling me, I'm gonna kill him. And my oldest brother, Elias, pulls out his gun, and as soon as he pulls out his gun, that guy starts firing, and it's just a whole shootout. And I'm looking at the other guy, and he's shooting the Draco at my brother, and then the other guy's shooting at him, and then the other guy in the other car in the front was shooting too, also at him.
Okay.
And my brother's just shooting back, and then they take off, and I'm still in the car, like I was trying to get out. I was trying to budge the door open, but it was locked. I was so confused. I was like, oh my God, I'm trying to get out. And I unlock it, and we're coming around this corner right here, and we're coming. And he cocks his gun, but he's still shooting at the time. And he cocks it, and it gets like stuck, it gets jammed, and I'm listening to him. And I'm scared. I'm like, I'm gonna die, I'm done. And he cocks it, and it gets jammed, and that's what saved my whole life. And I open up the door and I jump out, and he just starts shooting at me.
So he was gonna shoot you, but it
Yeah, it jammed. I could hear it jam.
As investigators listen to the statement, the magnitude of the case begins to take shape. The demand for $1,000, a trivial amount compared to the level of violence used, reveals the degree of irrationality and disregard for life displayed by the attackers. According to court records, the suspects were not pursuing a planned profit, but rather a quick opportunity to obtain cash and weapons, turning the event into an act of impulsive and disproportionate violence. The Albuquerque Police Department's analysis points to a growing pattern of young offenders resorting to lethal force over minimal sums in social media-facilitated robberies. In this case, a life was taken over a minor theft, executed with the same brutality as a calculated ambush, an act reflecting a complete lack of control and human empathy. This finding would later be key for prosecutors in classifying the event as intentional homicide committed during the commission of an aggravated robbery.
They did this for the car. Oh my God, oh my God! He had guns at me! He had guns at me, Dad! Oh my God!
Take a step back.
Oh no!
We're gonna have to start.
Tell him who it was!
We're gonna have to start pushing people back.
Tell him! Go tell him!
So good morning. Today is Monday, January 24th, 2022. It is now 10:22 a.m. My name is Jolana Macias. I'm an assistant district attorney. Here with me is, on the phone is Deputy District Attorney John Duran, as well as Assistant District Attorney Dana Bial. Present in the room is Detective Leah Wise with the Albuquerque Police Department, Detective Scott McMurrow with the Albuquerque Police Department, Ashley Green McLeod, and can you say your name for me, please?
Anna Dukes.
Okay.
Okay, so Anna, I'm just going to kind of explain a little bit real quick who I am and what I do. Okay, so I'm a detective with APD, but I'm also a detective with APD homicide. All right, so I am the detective that investigated the case. We call 480 Timothy, so it's the case in reference to a young man that was shot after a red Lexus and another vehicle were taken, and it's the one that you were charged on. Okay, so that's one of the cases that I'm investigating. The other case that I'm investigating is in reference to Donnie Jacob Brandon, which was a shooting. So there are a few people that are already in custody for that case, okay? The people that are already in custody are Juwan Bennett, Luis Ayala, Armando Rodriguez, and I'll also be asking you questions about that. But the way that I kind of want to do this is I'm going to ask you questions first, just in reference to 480 Timothy, okay?
And just to let everybody know, we have 2 other incidents too.
So Anna, what I want to do is I just want to give you the floor. So I want you to tell me what you know of the case that kind of started at Alvarado Park, how you guys became in possession of the Impala, and then how everything else occurred after that, okay? If you can speak up though, just because we have a couple people on the phone and they'll need to hear you too. But I'm just gonna give you the floor, and then when you're done, I'm gonna go back and ask you questions. Okay?
So it all started, I don't know the exact date. I had went to a party with my ex-boyfriend, Damian Tapia, and he had a friend that goes by Lucky. And we were at a party, and it was a Mexican party, so I had stopped being friends with Adrian because I heard about the previous case that he's involved in.
Okay.
And so I ran into him, and it was him, this guy named Goonie, that his real name is John, and then a couple other people and his older brother. And Damian was wearing like jewelry, and he had the teeth that people have, the fake ones.
And who did? Adrian?
Damien.
Damien, okay.
And so then Adrian was like, he walked up behind me and he was like, thank you so much for bringing us him. And I was like, what do you mean? And then he was like, Josiah wants to hit a lick on him. And I was like, no, I told him that it was my cousin. I was like, that's my cousin, you guys can't do that. And then he was like, we're gonna do it, like, just shut up. And I was like, no. And so then I turned to Damien and I was like, hey, go get my purse from the car and look for my pen. And I didn't have a pen. And so then he's like, okay. So him and his friend started walking in the car, and then I started walking behind them. And then that's when Adrian ran behind us and he pulled a Draco out of his pants, and he started to like make sure that it was able to shoot, I think. And he gave Josiah a gun and he was like, we're gonna do it now. And I was like, stop. And I kept telling him to stop. And then that's when he was like, how many guns do they have? And I was like, I don't know if they even have guns, just leave it alone. And then Adrian kept yelling at me, and then finally Damien got in his car, and then that's when Adrian was like, if I see you around Albuquerque, you're dead, you have 5 seconds to leave now. And so then I was like, why? Because I won't let you guys rob somebody, like you guys are gonna hurt him. And then he was like, we weren't even gonna do anything like that, like you should have just let us do it. And I just left with Damien. And then that's when Goonie called me, and he told me that I was lucky. He didn't know that the guy I was with was named Lucky. And then I was like, who's Lucky? And he's like, I have beef with his brother named Rico. And I guess they had robbed him before for his. And then I was like, well, I didn't know that. And then their friend, Goonie told me that it was better if I left my house that night because Adrian was planning on going over there and shooting it up. And so then their friend Adam picked me up, and he said that he had to take Goonie his bag to him. And then Goonie went to grab the bag, and they seen that they didn't roll one of the windows down, which was where I was hiding. And so then Adam drove off, and he drove to the Sonic on Rio Grande Bridge, I think it was. And he told me to get in the trunk, so he put me in the trunk, and then he drove to Adrian to give them the rest of their stuff out of his car. And that's when Adrian was like, where's that stupid bitch? And then Adam was like, I don't know where she's at.
During her interview with investigators, Annabelle Dukes, one of the individuals involved, claims that her participation in the incident was the result of pressure from those accompanying her. She insists she never intended to commit a robbery and was forced to take part, alleging she tried unsuccessfully to stop the attack. However, detectives note several aspects of her demeanor throughout the interview. Dukes recounts the events with precision and without hesitation, recalling sequences, names, and movements almost chronologically, even though the interview takes place nearly a year after the homicide. Her fluent delivery and absence of pauses, typical of memory reconstruction, draw the investigators' attention. She shows no signs of confusion or effort to recall, instead speaking quickly, calmly, and without emotion, as if the events had occurred only days before. This apparent coherence contrasts sharply with her claim of having acted under duress. Furthermore, digital evidence recovered from her account shows prior and active communication with both the victims and the attackers, directly contradicting her statement of being forced to participate. For prosecutors, both her behavior and the electronic records indicate prior knowledge and voluntary involvement, reinforcing the conclusion that Dukes played a deliberate role in planning the encounter.
Let's step over this way, all right?
That should have been. Hey, step over that was my son. You tell me where to step. You ain't tell me where to step. You ain't tell me where to step. You ain't tell me where to step. Step out my son. I ain't your kid. That's my son. You tell me where to step. No, I don't. How many times did he get shot?
I don't know.
Where at out here?
You had Nick at gunpoint in
Huh?
his head.
Who did?
The guy who tried to steal his car.
Huh?
And Elias went up to him. He said, you ain't stealing with his car. And Elias, they started shooting.
They started shooting Leah's?
And then I started shooting at them. And they shot my
He came out in his underwear?
No, they took all the clothes off with him. He came out here because Nick said he had that guys pointing a gun at him, so he came to help him.
He came to help?
Yes, he came out here to help him. And then they started shooting at him. They shot him in.
They took his mom's
They
car?
took off and jumped out.
They took the car? They didn't know whose it was?
You have to know who did it. Fucking 30 minutes to get here.
Oh, the cops took forever to get here. I was on hold the whole time from the house to here. On hold with 911. I was on hold with 911. I was on hold. 911 put me on hold.
And then Adrian started to follow Adam in the car, and I just felt the car was in the trunk, so I was freaking out, and I was texting Daddy asking her to let me out, and she kept telling me no because they were behind us. And then Adam crashed into somebody's fence, and then he got out to get the bumper, and that's when I heard Adrian. He was like, "Why are you running from us, brother? Is that dumb bitch?" or something like that. And then Adam drove off and went to Danny's house. And then that's when they kept making threats to me, saying that they were going to hurt my family or they were going to hurt me if I didn't set somebody up for them. And so then they kept making the threats, and so then I told them if I got the pendant from Damien, which is what they wanted, that they could leave me alone. And they said that if I could get it from him, and Damien would hang out with me because he knew that they were trying to rob him because I told him. And so then he said the only way that they wouldn't hurt me was if I set 2 people up for them. So they had me do Richie for them, and when they set Richie up, they told me to get the gun from him, so I did. And I went behind a tree and I didn't want to look. I didn't see anything that had happened between them. I just started running, and then that's when they came and picked me up. And then they dropped me off at home, and I told them I was really scared because Richie knows the person that I was staying with. And then Adrian was like, "We're still not good until you do a second person." And I was like, "Dude, I can't do that. Like, this is bad." And then he kept saying that we wouldn't be on good terms. Like, he wouldn't leave me alone. And then that's when he told me to do somebody named Nick. He said that he knows that Nick was a plug, and Nick was texting me at the time. And so Nick had wanted to hang out with me, so I told Nick that we could hang out, and Adrian told me to do Alvarado Park because there wasn't cameras there. He said that he drove around. And so we went to Alvarado Park, and that's when Adrian told me to keep the doors unlocked because he said the first time I did it wrong, but this time I needed to keep the doors unlocked and to ask him if he has guns or jewelry. And so I did. I asked him if he had any guns, and he had already had the doors unlocked, so I asked him if he had any guns. And he said that he had a Draco in the trunk, so I texted Adrian, I said Draco in the trunk. And then that's when I went to get out of the car, and Adrian and Santos and Josiah ran up to the car, and they just started screaming, and so then I ran, and
So what seat is Josiah sitting in? And you said Josiah's driving Richie's car, is that right?
He's sitting in the driver's seat.
He's in the driver's seat, okay. And where are you at in Richie's car?
I was at first in the front seat, and then when they said that somebody was looking out the window, I laid down in the back seat.
Okay. And then where is Adrian in Nick's car?
He's driving.
He's driving. Okay. And then where is Santos in Nick's car?
In the back seat.
In the back seat. Okay. What happens after you lay down?
After I laid down, I just heard it wasn't Adrian screaming. I think it was the brother screaming. I heard yelling, and then I just heard 2 or 3 gunshots, and then that's when Josiah put the car in drive and then reached out and started shooting. I started yelling at him and asked him to stop, but he just told me to shut up.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go through a couple things with you real quick. So Santos. Describe Santos for me.
He's Mexican, he's short, and he has like straight hair that goes like right here.
How long did you and Adrian date?
I think 4 months.
4 months. Okay. All right. Can you tell me who that is? That's Adrian. What? Yes, please. What else do you know Adrian by?
Baby Wapo.
Baby Wapo. Okay. And what's Adrian's last name? Avila. Okay. And then now you had said that after the shooting that you guys go back to the and tell Wapo's brother or Baby Wapo's brother, Adrian's brother. Yes, sorry, to the John Street address. I apologize. Or San Jose. But you guys go back to San Jose and tell Andres that you don't know what happened to Adrian.
Yes.
Okay. And then he goes and picks up Adrian from an area. Did you go with them during that time? Okay.
Josiah made me go with them.
Okay.
Because
and
my phone's the only phone that they had.
Was it in the car that Josiah was driving?
It was in Andres's girlfriend, some type of girl that he had over that night. He just took her car.
Okay.
I can't remember, he had a car seat in it, but I don't remember what it was like.
All right.
Dukes maintains that during the shooting she did not fire or intervene directly, and that her intention was to leave the area once the shots began. For investigators, her account provides key names and relationships that help to link the February 11, 2021 murder of Elias Otero to the earlier killing of Donnie Brandon, committed 6 months prior under a similar pattern of ambush and robbery. Her statement, however, contains notable contradictions. Although she claims not to remember the exact sequence of the shooting, she describes in detail the vehicle's positions, the weapons, and the participants, suggesting active presence and direct observation during the attack. Her tone remains steady and composed, with no emotional changes, reinforcing the impression that she is not reconstructing a memory, but narrating an event she fully remembers. This testimony allows detectives to confirm the connections amongst Dukes, Avila, and other suspects, and to establish the degree of coordination that would later lead prosecutors to classify the case as premeditated homicide involving multiple participants.
And then Andres then comes back with Adrian and bleaches the guns and you said Pine Sol's the guns, is that right?
Yeah, he used bleach and Pine Sol and I think Fabuloso. He just poured all kinds of stuff in the bathtub.
Okay, and then they scrub them down.
Yeah.
And then they were, you said, and I'm just clarifying, so if I get something wrong, please let me know. So you said then Adrian takes them with a shovel to two different people's houses?
I think he took the guns. I didn't really notice because when his brother was bleaching the guns, Adrian had left to burn their clothes, and his brother started threatening me. And he told me he put his own gun in my head and told me that
Andre
if I snitched, yeah, he told me if I snitched, then he would kill me because his brother can't be going through that.
Okay.
And so whenever they had done whatever with the guns, I was just sitting on their couch in shock. I was scared.
Now, just so I can clarify, in this vehicle is Adrian. Driving, and Josiah is the one that's in Richie's car.
Yes.
Okay, and then Santos is the one that is in Adrian's vehicle, or is in the vehicle with Adrian, but in the back. Okay. How long have you known Santos for?
I've known him for a couple of months.
Okay.
Not that long. I just met him when Armando had went to jail.
Okay. Okay. So we know Adrian driving, we know Santos, who we identified on the phone. We know Andre is the one that threatens to kill you if you say anything. We know that Damien is kind of the preface to all of what occurred. And then we know that Josiah is the one that's driving.
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but during the carjacking that occurs with Richard, where they take his car, all three, other than Andre, and not Damien either, Josiah, Adrian Avila, so Josiah, Adrian Avila, and then also Santos are the three that were there that were committing these carjackings.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we clarify that. And the other question is, you had said that they then started kind of picking on Serenity. Why to do these robberies? Why were they going to have Serenity do these robberies?
They kind of just, it's because Serenity, she's a really pretty girl, so she has a lot of attention from guys that they don't like, that they want to be robbed.
Gotcha.
So they just kind of have girls that they could care less about do stuff like this, because if it does come down to somebody getting hurt, then the girls get the pressure and they don't.
With Annabelle Dukes' statement and more than a year of collected evidence, investigators were able to assemble the complete structure of the case. Ballistic analysis, digital communications, and cross-reference testimonies confirmed that Adrian Avila, just 16 years old, had participated in 2 murders and several armed robberies, while Dukes acted as the intermediary who lured victims to their attackers. In April of 2024, Avila was sentenced to 29 years in prison for the murders of Elias Otero and Donnie Brandon, as well as for kidnapping and aggravated robbery. Dukes, in turn, reached a plea agreement that reduced her charges to felony robbery, receiving a sentence of 5 to 15 years, while Josiah Opadaka was sentenced to 10 years for his involvement in the earlier assault. The case formally concluded with confirmation that both murders were connected by the same pattern: meetings arranged through social media, minimal financial motives, and extreme violence. For prosecutors, the investigation revealed how a series of impulsive, digitally coordinated decisions led to irreversible consequences, leaving 2 victims dead and multiple families devastated. Beyond the sentences, the case exposed a growing phenomenon: the normalization of youth violence and its link to digital platforms, where each fleeting message can become the first step toward a premeditated crime.